About a month ago, I very gracefully hit my head right there on the corner of a wooden chair. That is not the thing you want to do to start your morning. But fortunately, I have a great health team. So I went to the person who does some cranial sacral, and she did something that I'm going to show you how to do, and it was amazing how it helped. Not just me, but a whole lot of people. What did she do? Oh, well, hang on, because I've got another story to tell you. I had a client just the other day who's really struggling with blood pressure. And since all the things that have been happening since March, being a small business owner, she's been under a lot of stress. And she said, you know, Cheryl, I looked at your Discovering Wholeness book, and blood pressure goes with anger. And she said, I am angry. She's gone through all the medical tests, and yes, she has high blood pressure, but all the other tests, normal, 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 normal. And she said, I don't know what to do. And I said, well, I'm going to share with you what I've done for me and some clients, and let's see if it helps you. Because yes, there's a lot we could do to get rid of anger. That might take some time. What if we could find one little thing that in the course of about less than 30 seconds, maybe 15 seconds, it might shift? I knew she was skeptical, but I did it on her, and then I said, now let's play with it and see what you find. So I want to go through the story that I did with her, what I did with me, what I've been doing with clients, and it's something that you can do right from home without purchasing anything. Because yes, I'm a naturopath. Yes, I have a lot of credentials. But what I most care about is easy. What can we do that's easy to take care of our own health? So let's look at very simple anatomy, because that's not my best subject. But when I went to my PT therapist, who does lots of extra special stuff with cranial, she said, this is what the dura of your brain looks like. This is what separates left and right hemispheres of the brain. So this is where I hit myself, exactly right there. And it reverberated all the way back here where there's a little divot. Now you can find those on your head. You could start right here at that middle of your hairline, if you have a hairline, and then go back, using 3 fingers, and there'll be a little divot right at the end of the skull, right where your spine attaches. Those are important points that we're going to work with. And she got in and did something a little bit different. She took 3 fingers right here and 3 fingers back here. And as she lifted, I breathed in. So holding these spots, just breathe in and lift up gently. And then exhale, breathing out through your mouth or your nose if that's easier for you. She did that about 3 times, and I went, that was before she showed me all of this. And I said, what did you do? I mean, everything in me relaxed. And that's when she began to explain some anatomy. So this area here, which is the venous sinus, not like these sinuses, but it's the pathway that helps the brain to drain and to cleanse. When does it do it? At night. So when this is all tight, it could potentially be impacting your sleep. In addition to that, if you do emotion code, body code, different types of emotional clearing, and you're doing something across the governing vessel, this is that same place. I'm going to show you a slightly different variation of doing that I find that I like better. Now here's what's also important. Not only do you have this strip, this is the brain-blood barrier, so we want to be able to get oxygen into the brain, and we want the brain to drain at night, be able to cleanse. This is also the pathway for the optic nerve. And with all that people are doing on screens and computers today, Zoom, children, this is having a big impact on our brains, our body, and so many nervous system functions. And right there, it's where the pituitary is. Now, the pituitary impacts so much of our brain, our hormones, blood sugar, digestion, many, many, many things. Do you have to know all of that? No, because your pituitary and brain know all of that. But here's what I want to teach you. What happened with me, what happened with the person with blood pressure issues, very, very high, over 200. and it's helping clients to simply relax. So the client comes in just the other day, high blood pressure. I did this on her for 3 sets, 3 repetitions, made sure she could feel it. But as I did it on her, she went, well, my jaw doesn't hurt. My jaw's been hurting, and I go to the chiropractor every week. I go to a masseuse every 2 weeks. It feels good for a little bit, and it immediately comes back. And she said, how did that happen? You see, chronic pain is run by the brain. So if you don't support the brain, you can dish out a lot of money and not take care of chronic pain. So I said, let's play with this, because this is how you learn. Assess, do something, reassess. She took something very specific, her blood pressure numbers. She took it before. She did the pituitary release. Remember, 3 fingers here, 3 fingers back here. Breathe in and lift. And as you release, exhale. She did it 3 times. She texted me this morning and she said, Cheryl, guess what? My blood pressure dropped 14 points in less than 20 seconds doing this. That got her attention because it didn't cost her anything. It's something that she can do anytime, anywhere, as much as she wants. She was excited. That's why with clients, I really help them. Let's look at something before, do a reset, an interrupt, and then be able to reassess so you can discover the ones that work for you. Now, for those of you who do emotion code, body code, and you're taught to do this to clear emotions, what I've learned is to work with the anatomy and take 3 fingers, and as I'm doing this on myself or with clients or teaching them, I just choose to release anger, frustration, overwhelm. I'll give it to the Lord. And it's interesting that instead of doing this, I find that these 3 fingers going along here, it's like my brain knows it's coming right along the track, and it goes, because you see, when something shifts in your nervous system, one of 3 things will tend to happen. Your breathing will shift, it'll get deeper, you'll sigh, or you'll yawn. Those are all indications that your brain liked what you did. So I'm going to give you a little series that I have found that clients really like. It can help you with your day. Don't go through them so fast that you don't notice. And then just start assessing. Does it change your breathing? That's the first thing you could notice. Or you could do blood pressure. Or you could do the little oxygen meters. Or you could monitor your sleep. You could monitor your energy. Play with it. This is how we learn the best. So after you do the pituitary, another natural one to do, because it ties in with right here, part of our anatomy, is to reset hypothalamus. There's little indentions here. There's sutures in your cranial bones. Just rubbing in a backward circular motion 3 or 4 times. I'm not making up these sighs because I just immediately relax. And then you can go right to supporting the pineal by putting the heel of your palm right in that little indention and just breathe in and lift. And breathe in and lift. And breathe in and lift. On the 3rd one is when I felt everything relax. And I would bet you if you go back and listen to my voice at the beginning and now, you'll hear there's a shift. Because when we relax, we have a deeper, richer, fuller voice, worth paying attention to. Now, after that, what you can do is simple breathing, 4-2-4. There's many ways to practice breathing. This is just one that happens to work for me. So you breathe in through the nose for a count of 4, hold for 2, exhale, breathing as if through a straw for 4. If you're really relaxed, you may find you can go up to 20 seconds. On a good day, I can usually do 16 to 18. If I'm feeling rattled or overwhelmed, sometimes I can only get to 4. During the quarantine season, many clients could only do 2-1-2. And they're like, Cheryl, I've always been able to do 4-2-4. Just because you always could doesn't mean you can when you're under stress. So these are simple resets. They're for you to play with, Discover what your body likes, and you can always check out more resources at lifestyleforhealth.com.